So the summit, the AVGC summit is a very, very important, I would say, platform for all the stakeholders to come together to exchange ideas on how we can take the Indian audiovisual services sector to the next level. The sector has many different elements. There are a number of departments which are involved. There are a number of sectors within the AV sector itself. You have animation, you have gaming, you have the normal content. So there are a number of elements which are there, and I think coming together of stakeholders from both private sector as well as government will help in coming out with a policy, in coming out with a plan on how to grow our AV sector.
So AVG sector has very high potential, and it will really help Government of India to reach 1 trillion economy in the IT sector and overall growth of 5 trillion economy for this country. This sector is in the same state where in IT sector was 20 years back, and it has more potential even than IT sector as far as the growth is concerned. Thank you.
The CII Summit 2022 is a great congregation of industry leaders, practitioners, learners, the government, the state governments, and many more. It is a very exciting place to be because currently the focus is on the AVGC sector, and the policy that the government is planning to draft to promote the audiovisual, animation, visual effects, gaming and the comic sector. This is a sector which has been growing extremely strongly in the last few years, particularly after and during the pandemic, because digital platforms were one platform that were available to all of us when we were in lockdowns and when there were restrictions on social congregations. So this is an area that we are looking at very animatedly, because this is going to be the next sector in the media and entertainment sector, which is going to come up strongly.
CII Summit FX 2022 is not an event, it's not a conference, it's not an exhibition, it's not a meeting place. It is an experience. Edition 3, the first two were done in the COVID times. It was virtual, but guess what? Here we are in the presence of each other, making sure that we can look at where the industry is headed next. 2022 is a moment in time. It is that moment where the culmination of thought between the government, the industry, academia, professionals, technology providers, press, and everybody who participates in it, including students, the AVGC of tomorrow, all congregated. And the room was electric for the last 8.5 hours.
The CII Summit FX, third edition, is a delight because the first two editions happened online, and this is the first time that we are all meeting in Delhi at a wonderful place, the Lalit. Most of the things that we discussed today is about what's going to be deliberated into the policy for AVGC for India, and also what we are doing in the task force and the whole interaction and consultations that we did. I'm sure that this is going to actually give us a good insight into the whole, versions that we have been working on, but more so that the policy will finally get made, and the crux would lie into how do we implement this policy successfully, so that the next year that we have Summit FX, we are all able to see a lot of things that we have discussed today in action. And I think in the next 7 to 8 years, we would see everything getting implemented step by step, and that would be contributing to a big success of the AVGC XR industry of India. And we will also add metaverse to the whole ecosystem. My sincere thanks to all the participants, and a great congratulations to Biren and team at CII for putting this wonderful 2 days conference together, and I wish them all the best for tomorrow.
Summit FX 2022 is being organized around a time when the AVGC sector is particularly being highlighted both in the budget speech, in the task force, and the policy being formed, actually to give shape to an industry that is going to not only shape the future of industry in India, but to a large extent what is going to happen in the world. And as we move from India at 75 to the next 25 years of India at 100, I think it's the Gen Z, the youth population of our country. 1 in 10 people is an Indian under the age of 25. Indian in the world under the age of 25, not only an Indian but under the age of 25, and that 1 in 10 strength is what we're going to see unlock over the next 25 years. The methods by way of which they are engaging with media and entertainment is changing rapidly. The world is changing rapidly, and I think this is an opportunity for us as a country to see how we can take center stage in this particular industry as we move forward.
Thank you for inviting me over for Summit FX. What a great show, and good to see the government support and all the T's and C's which were discussed about, how the government is ready and already pushing this industry, AVGC industry, which is already a thriving industry but definitely need a lot of support, and that's what this entire event is for.
Here in Delhi for the Summit FX 2022, it has started out very interesting with some discussions and information from the honorable ministers from government, talking about the AVGC sector and the focus of government for the AVGC sector going forward. It's good to meet some of our colleagues from different groups.
Yeah, I think it's great to be in the third Summit FX meet in Delhi. This kind of meetings, this kind of deliberations in the platform which CII has created here. It's a great collaboration with the industry, the government, various other players which are shaping up the AVGC industry coming forward.
I think it's great to Summit FX has been a great opportunity for me to come back to live events per se. It's been from the virtual world of events happening over the last 2 years. I see there's more trend of more events that are happening live, and it's good to be coming back and interacting with a lot of government policy makers as well as the industry colleagues who we keep bumping into different events and sharing ideas and thought processes and things like that.
First time at CII Summit FX, and I should say it's a great place. Great interactions happening and meeting the best of the folks in the industry.
It's been wonderful being a part of this CII Summit, and incredible experience, incredible industry guys who came in and participated, and very energetic audience. I'm also glad that we have been working on the AVGC skilling policy for some time now, and hopefully over the next 1.5 months we should be in the situation to release it as a policy if everything goes good. But the major focus of the policy has not just been from the perspective of skilling the workforce or reskilling or upskilling, but has also been talking about various initiatives, various supports which we look forward from the industry, the academia as well as the government to come in and bridge in. I think the major outsourced would be on the training of trainers, and if we are able to fill that gap up immediately, I'm sure whatever the skill gap we have been talking about over the last 2.5 decades should certainly not be a concern for us.
Yeah, it's been a real pleasure participating in this CII Summit FX for the AVGC industry. It is only in forums like these where we are able to express and come together and give a holistic view of what is really needed to take the AVGC industry from where it is now to where we can dream where it should be. A lot of the conversations centered around the new AVGC Task Force, which has been set up by the Government of India. And in the AVGC Task Force, we have been able to bring about certain recommendations to the government as to how the policy should be shaped, so which enables this sector to realize its full potential.
I think it's a great platform. Summit FX really brings together smart and intelligent people who can learn from each other. So honestly, I don't know how much the audience got from all of us, but I really got a lot from what the other panelists spoke about, both in this session and in the morning session. And I hope we continue to do this more regularly and bring in people of a really high caliber like we already do to make the value addition to everybody's knowledge like they do.
Participating in Summit FX 2022, many points are being discussed that includes the policy at the national level, center of excellence, and upskilling, reskilling. Many different subjects are being discussed. It's a very good thing to know that finally the AVGC sector is being recognized as a serious business entity by the government and by the CII and other industry bodies. I'm sure that it has been recognized. We are at the turning point, like how in 1990 the software industry was at its nascent stage. Now the AVGC industry also is at a similar level. So if parents and the industry come together to get quantity and quality training, we will realize the dream of becoming the world's media hub.
I should congratulate CII, the entire team and the entire industry to have come together and done this event at this time. I think post-COVID times, these kind of events instill more confidence into all the people who are a part of this AVGC industry. I think this is one of the most exciting period to be in this sector, and these kind of events bring together all the industry leaders from the education side, from the industry, from the production, from all sectors in the government and the bureaucrats in one platform, and I've really enjoyed being a part of it. And I think the new education policy also should incorporate a lot of things. I think we have suggested a lot of things to the National AVGC Task Force that has been recently instituted.
It's great to be at the CII event. It's nice to meet all the AVGC different sectors come together to make this a success. Many things that what we have discussed on creating different COEs and skill developing the entire nation on the AVGC different sectors. Looking forward to great things to happen hereafter. So it is nice that we have the only AVGC COE right now, but then we look forward to many more in the coming few years. Thank you.
It was great being part of the CII Summit FX. The academia industry tie-up, and how we are going to get the skill ready for the next few years. I think that this policy that is being made is very crucial to that, and the Indian animation industry requires these kind of discussions and a certain platform to discuss this all. So I'm really happy to be part of it, and it was an amazing experience listening to the panelists. Thank you so much.
It is great to be part of this summit. I got a very good opportunity to meet people cutting across, government agencies, educational institutes, and many colleagues from industry also. Our industry, AVGC industry, is at a very crucial juncture at this moment. We have a huge opportunity to grow and scale up numbers. For any industry, two important parts are demand and supply. Fortunately, we have a very good demand pipeline which is existing, and we have to scale up on the supply side.
I would love to thank CII Summit for having such a beautiful conference, as it has given us an opening to what the industry is like and where it's going to reach in the upcoming few years. It spoke about from an education standpoint and from the standpoint of what the industry is like. I would say it's a fabulous experience for being here the first time and getting to meet all the lovely speakers, the panelists, and other people who attend the seminar.
Hello everyone, this is my first experience with the CII Summit FX, and I came here to represent MPC, and it's a really nice and good gathering here. It's so nice to see the AVCG sector is really picking up, and there's a lot of people talking about it, a lot of policies, new policies being developed, which is the need of the hour. And what I really enjoyed, that it is not just about what we are doing now, but about what we can do in future. So making the roadway, making the path is the policies and everything, the guidelines is very important, and this kind of event should happen more.